What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are shining our spotlight on Giovanni Vinci. So he is a chase character or chase card, I should say, for the month of December and January. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. When I first saw him, I was very underwhelmed. I didn't want anything to do with the damn card. Be honest, I almost gave up the entire month to not chase him because he didn't look like he held value for me. I was extremely mistaken. He is of actual value. So as you can see here, just from the beginning portion, I don't have a plate or I don't have plates on him at all. I haven't fully decided what I want to do with him yet. He has two very prominent builds. I'm sure there's a third one, but I don't give a crap about that build. Or maybe I will. Who knows? This is shining a spotlight on him, so we all know how this video goes. I'm going to show you the builds I know, and I'm going to throw in one build that kind of could work, possibly, whatever. Just kind of looking at that. But I want to give you guys my impression of him, tell you what I think about it, and everything else. For everyone who showed up for the live stream for our boss battle, midweek boss battle, I greatly appreciate y'all. I enjoyed those conversations. Thank you so much. The conversations that we had helped me today, which is the day after, kind of helped me get out of my anger from yesterday and move into today and actually have a clearer mindset. So to all of you who showed up, thank you again so much. And when we go live again, I hope you all show up again. And I hope there's more and we have more conversations about wrestling, life, everything in between. So with all that said, let's get into Giovanni Vinci. So Gio, initially, this is the build that kind of rang out to me a little bit. His triple yellow offers up a little bit of control or more control and recycle than normal. This one does not focus gem damage. So by not focusing gem damage, we have solely focused our trainers towards the damage in and of itself. Our coaches are Powerhouse Hogan and Zombie Liv. Those are affecting our Imperial Bomb, which is going to do 187,000 damage, plus an additional 145,908 for every immobile gem, or for each immobile gem, I should say. That's our big slap in the face. We threw on Tatanka here because the MP for these are 7. So come boss battle with our 6 MP here between Kofi and Tatanka, we're going to be able to have the submission go off first and foremost. What I'm really hoping with this is more of a defensive measure in Feud in regards to our opponents than anything else. So what I'm hoping beyond hope is what I can do here, and what I'm thinking for in plate-wise is for the plate, I may very well put on the anti-submission plate. The reason for that is giving it a little bit more time, but I'm also considering putting on an MP plate as well. Because once the seated rear chinlock submission goes off, it's basically just a repeat cycle over and over and over and over and over again. The submission goes into the Imperial Bomb goes into the Spine Buster fills seated rear chinlock, so you're just going submission every single turn. You're basically locking them down. With Tatanka being on the submission, we have 572,000 damage on each tick for 3 turns. The 3 turns fits perfectly. I'd rather do 1.5 million plus for 3 turns and leave as much immobile gems on the board as humanly possible versus increasing the turns and doing the damage off the submission. If you choose to go with an additional person such as Tech Drew because you don't have Zombie Liv, then by all means, or no, sorry, yeah, it's Tech Drew. Tech Drew does yellows. Let's check real quick. Make sure that I am correct here. I know I am, but, you know, sometimes things fall through the cracks. Yeah, Tech Drew. So Tech Drew adds 50% more damage for the submission and gives it 1 extra turn. If you don't have Liv or you don't have Hogan or if you don't have both, moving over to submission damage is actually going to benefit you here. In regards to the belt for this setup, I would personally go with Takedown 2, 200 or a percentage increase for yellow move damage. Get that up as high as possible. Allow for these to actually increase in damage. That'll be the best thing. My belt currently is set up for Fury for the triple green. I also slapped on the 100% gem damage belt that you received, or that we received for taking Ludwig all the way up to 5-star bronze and completing his tours, getting 4 of the medallions, got me this and the Uso plate. The 2-month events that happen, I want to say right now it's a pattern. They did it last year and they've done it this year. So I'm wondering if at the beginning of the month they're going to be doing, or at the end of the year, beginning of the year, they're doing a 2-month thing. At that time, it is imperative that you take the month of December, get that chase card or the free card up to 5-star, 6-star if you can, So that way you can start gathering those up, get the belt, get the plate. Now, in regards to the belt for this, the reason the 100% is going to stick on there, even though I'm going takedown 2 for this build, the 100% gem damage belt plays a very big role. We're not breaking gems on the board, so it's not critical to our damage output. What it is doing though is ensuring that when we get slapped for 10 million damage, we're able to still kick out, and that's the big thing. The being able to kick out is a big deal. So let's go in against a nice little Walter here with Geo, and let's see what this damage looks like. I personally am very impressed by this. Is it fast? Kind of. Not as fast as I would like it to be. However, it does the damage necessary if the board will allow. Now, obviously, this damage is going to fluctuate quite a bit based on the gems that are on the board, what the AI does with those, and so on and so forth. This build to me is a control factor. I mean, look at that damage. It's just wiping him away. If these were at 200%, we would be over 1 million damage between those two moves alone, and you just see the recycle hits alone. There is a danger zone that comes with this build, though, and that danger zone is if they don't wipe enough of the submissions away and there's too many immobile gems left, the board will reset itself. There will be none there, so you won't have the high points of damage. You will be, however, able to recycle back into the submission, so it does work out in that manner. So I highly recommend this for defensive measures. I highly recommend this for moving forward. It is a quick, efficient way to end somebody. And even here, this is just overkill hitting him with that again. Basically, it is go back into the spine buster, hit the submission, just end the match. You're never moving this pen bar, so it's obviously going to come over here. Hitting the submission is what's going to end it quickly. See, that really did not take that much time. It only took maybe 2 minutes, which really is not that big of a deal. 2 to 3 minutes is not a big problem. It can be when you're in a feud and you're going hardcore. That's when it can be a problem. But right now, that just sits in a very defensive standpoint. For boss battle, what's going to wind up happening is you're not going to be able to repeat this cycle consistently. Since it only takes it up by 6, you will need to swipe in boss battle. So keep that in mind. If an immobile gem boss battle does occur, understand he is going to be a key, but there is going to be some swiping. So just clearing that out of the board right now. So let's switch over to the other build that I found to be most efficient. And that is going to be our triple green. Triple green, I believe, is going to do wonders with the Sheik plate, strictly because this is 366. That does help. You are cycling through. Now, I have seen people before actually save the loadout here, so I don't need to be doing this. I have seen people go and run a double +4 MP as the trainers. I do not recommend this. You're beating a dead horse. This build is similar to Rocky 76. Rocky 76 triple green is solely focused and does the most damage when you are facing somebody who has green moves. So taking it in against a Sammy or a Geo, for instance, you're getting the most value and bang for your buck. This build is solely for fighting against powerhouses. It will all go off turn 1 against a powerhouse. It will all not go off turn 1 against anybody else. So this is your aggression. This is if you're going for a class advantage similar to what I do during feuds. So basically what I would do with this is I would take this in against a Farouk, any sort of powerhouse that I feel is going to be detrimental. The reason for that is the double springboard moonsault. We're going to start off with the Rolling Fireman's Carry Slam, which is going to do 194,000 damage, and choose a 6x1 area to make into snowfall gems, which will modify all gems below it into green gems when broken by you. And that's very nice. And obviously we know that a majority of the board is going to go bye-bye. The double springboard moonsault is where this sets it into motion to be the most effective. We're doing 166,000 damage, but we're increasing our green gem damage by 140% for 1 turn, which is beneficial. 1 turn is good, no stacking, that's fine. During a boss battle, this will be very effective. During a boss battle, that is when having the +4 MP and stuff like that, getting that elevated power bomb to go off turn 1 is going to be phenomenal. You will only get 2 rotations out of this in a boss battle. However, you are adding 280% total during a boss battle and flooding the board. Very good for shield breaks, very good for damage output. All in all, very good quality. Now, during a feud, however, the hardcore is if an opponent's class is powerhouse. First, deal 180,000 damage and increase your green MP by 4. So that's the critical portion. That is what's going to get the elevated power bomb to go off. And the elevated power bomb does 366,000 damage, and choose 10 gems to make into yellow gems and pin the opponent. That is critical. That is a good thing. So what this is going to do is we're going to go rolling into the double springboard into the elevated power bomb. For trainers, this is totally up for you based on your roster. Ideally, you want to hold these cards as your primary setup. Your green moves start with 4 from Animal. Big Papa Pump Scott Steiner is giving 2 more green points, but also increasing the green gem damage by 35%. That does go up to, I believe, 50% at 6-star bronze. He is on the back burner right now, but I will be taking him up for trainer purposes. Lex Luger, or Showboat Luger, is green gems do 12k more damage, and then Zombie Becky, green gems do 30% more. Becky is up for interpretation as well. If you have a Santa Hogan that is 5-star gold or 6-star bronze, wherever he goes up in the gem damage portion, you can throw Santa on here and it'll be a little bit easier. It's dealer's choice at that point. You can also, if you don't have Becky, you can switch over to green gem damage increase, especially if you throw Sheik Plate on here. Green damage increase is going to help this as well. This is just the ideal setup. So obviously we go back to the gem or the board here. We're doing 214% for greens. We have 200% increase on green move damage. Again, Sheik Plate would go right here if I chose to go down this route. But we're going to go against Walter yet again to just show this. Now, this is the tour, so all the moves will be charged. But understand this. Animal and Big Papa Pump on here, that's 6 MP. 7 MP with our startup that gives it to us. So this being a 10 spot, this having the MP increase is going to make this go off turn 1 regardless. So me having it on this tour, not necessarily a bad thing. We're going to throw this here because of those two. Go here. Now you can use all of the gems from the finisher if you would like. That is totally your prerogative. Me, on the other hand, I choose to keep it all contained right here. So that way the wild card lands up top here. We're just going to throw an additional 2 over here just for shits and giggles. Since it's the power finisher, we want to do as much damage as possible. We're sitting at 6.7. That is not bad. That is not something to bat an eye at. That is very good damage. At 6-star silver, I expect that to be somewhere in the realm of 10 to 12 million, give or take a little bit there. So, like I said, it's a good build. It's very solid. If you are wanting to go down this route, I highly recommend it as well. I do not see a problem with Geo at all. I actually think he is very versatile. He is very viable. He will fill in slots. And since a majority of us were able to cap off the event due to a mistake on the showdown event that happened, a majority of people have Geo now. So if your roster is small, if it's not the biggest in the world and you're focusing on techs and you feel like this is going to be a good one, I highly recommend taking him up. He is very, very, very good. So let's look at the other 2 moves real quick, just to kind of get it out of the way. Those are going to be blue. So let's see what they have to offer here. So we have our Sleeper Hold, which will generate 42 random submission gems and do 285,000 for 3 turns. While submission gems are on the board, obviously remaining submission gems turn into botch gems. So coolio there. Brainbuster. Choose 1 gem to make into 2-turn Juggernaut gems that will deal 126,000 damage for every botch gem on every countdown and increase your blue MP by 7. So let's give this a shot. Let's see what this has to offer. I don't know what I'm going to add to this, strictly because it doesn't synergize with anything else. That's my problem with these 2 moves. They synergize with themselves. They don't synergize with anything else. So what would I put here? What exactly would I do here to make this viable? Possibly the Rolling Fireman's Carry, just just kind of like an add-on. This is really a 2-turn deal. So I guess. I guess this kind of gives room to work with Rick, so that's nice. I went to previous, that's my bad. Rick, you are 5-star gold right now, so submission increase. Where's Lawler? This is something I am never going to use on him, and that's solely because, one, I don't have an affiliation belt on Lawler, but two, I have other cards that are designated for said area. Since the submission gems, or since the countdown gems are not, or juggernaut gems are not going to be affected by trainers or anything such as that, increasing botch gem damage is kind of irrelevant. So what I could do here is, since we have this here, is we will go move damage. We will increase it with Logan. Throw on Logan here. It's 3 turns, so we want to maintain as much submission gems on the board. However, since the submission is our main source of damage, I guess we can go with good old Shelton Benjamin here. It's not increasing the turns or anything like that. So we're looking at 1.8 mil, then this, and then it goes into that. So there is swiping, no swipe, or swiper, no swiping. So I guess what you could do here in a synergist, or it's not really synergy or anything like that, and it could fuck you up a little bit, is we put the Juggernaut gems against one wall and then hit the submission on our swipe for a green and kind of build up the Rolling Fireman's Carry as a nice little way to end the match. But again, none of the other moves match with it. So I guess one other thing you could potentially do in the long run is run the other submission, I guess. Maybe. That'd probably be a good thing. So we're going to slap bang him here, go here, go here. Oh, it's 1. So 1 turn, or 1 gem. That's cool. Actually, that helps out a lot more. So I guess if there is a trainer that adds Juggernaut gems that I don't have, adding more jugs will make this a lot more powerful. So botch gems are basically allowing us not to be punished nearly as much. It's a good considerable amount of damage. Like, I can't fault the damage that just came from that. I mean, it wiped out a quarter of the health. So, goody. I believe there is a trainer that does add Juggernaut gems. So if you have that trainer, I'm hoping it's a coach. If it's a coach, toss it on there, add 1 more jug. Really. And then he's going to whack us there. That took away all the health. So big bonus there. So that is nice. Slam bang this down, hit that, go there. Just wipe the board. So let's try one other thing. One other thing that I'm curious about. I just don't. No, you know what? Never mind. No. I guess one other thing you could do. I really don't want to experiment this out because this build is janky at best, and it's solely reliant on the fact that you have 2 moves and the third move's questionable. What you could do here is, instead of having Logan and Shelton, or I want to say it's Tech Roman. Head of the table Roman for submission damage. What you could do here is you could do botch gem and green gem damage. So you can throw on Luger here and who's the botch gem damage? It should be off the top of my head. I'm drawing a blank. Son of a nutcracker. I think it's Uso, isn't it? Purple, yellow. There. Does not look like there's a botch gem. Oh, there's botch gem increases, so it's going to be in the gray. So yeah, Jimmy. Bloodline Jimmy. You could throw Bloodline Jimmy on here. I know it's gray and it says no entourage effects benefit, but it does actually benefit. The only reason it's saying it's not is because it's coming from the jugs. So what these do is they read what the wording is. They just don't actually apply to like jugs and countdowns. Still a misfire. But he will actually count. So you could do Luger here and Jimmy here. So that way, when in fact you go and do the Rolling Fireman's Carry, you go and have enough on the board that you're increasing the damage there for a pin. That's a possibility. I do not recommend this build. However, if all of your other coaches are being used and your Lawler isn't, this is a good way to do it. But yeah. So my actual theory on Geo, my perception is he is high A tier, low S tier. High A tier being that he will get the job done with his submission. It'll take a little bit of time, but not nearly as much. especially if you have Powerhouse Hogan at 100%. That'll do a lot of damage. My Powerhouse Hogan's at 50% right now. Increasing it a little bit higher should do a lot more damage and kind of lead to a 2-turn clock instead of, 3 or 4. So S tier, low S tier being for boss battle. So I would say for feuds, he's high A tier. He will get the job done. He does very well. Time efficiency, kind of, sort of, not really there. The triple green, very, very good against powerhouses, but understand you're going to get hit. You're either going to get hit with a submission, you're going to get hit with a board wipe, some way or another, you're going to get hit. So just understand that that is a possibility. If you're like me and you like being in control of the fight, go with a triple yellow. You know if it's going to work out. Stick with takedown 2 and 200% or a percentage increase. I need to stop saying 200%. Not everybody has one of those. But stick with a high percentage yellow move damage increase on those takedowns and just have fun with him with those builds. So that is the end of this video. I hope you all enjoyed. And with all that being said, I'm going to leave you the same way I leave you guys every time. Life can be fun if you allow it to be. We'll see you in the next video.